The night sky above planet Zarin was dark and broken. Big ships were burning in the air. Red and blue lights were flashing everywhere. Explosions shook the ground again and again. This was not a normal place. This was a battlefield. Humans and aliens were fighting for control of this strange planet. Smoke covered the sky like a black blanket. Fire was falling from above. And in the middle of all this chaos, a young human soldier was running. His name was Evan Carter. He was only 24 years old. He was not a hero. He was not famous. He was just a simple soldier who wanted to go back home. But tonight, fate had different plans. Evan was breathing fast. His uniform was torn. Blood was coming from his left arm. His radio was broken. He was alone. Very alone. Around him, broken robots and fallen soldiers were lying on the ground. Some were human. Some were alien. Some were already dead. Some were dying. The war had taken everything from this place. Hope. Peace. Life. Stay alive, just stay alive, Evan whispered to himself. He held his gun tightly. But inside, he knew the truth. He had only 3 bullets left. 3 bullets. Against hundreds of enemies. It was almost useless. He moved slowly behind a broken wall. Every step was painful. His leg was hurt. But he could not stop. If he stopped, he would die. Suddenly, boom. A big explosion happened near him. The ground shook. Evan fell hard. Dust filled his eyes. He coughed. He tried to stand, but his body refused. For a moment, everything was silent. No gunfire. No shouting. Only ringing in his ears. Then, he heard something strange. A sound. A soft sound. Not a gun. Not an explosion. It was a voice. A weak voice. A crying voice. Help, please help me. Evan froze. He looked around. At first, he thought he was dreaming. People do not cry in war. People scream. People die. But this voice was different. It was full of fear. Full of pain. He followed the sound. Slowly. Carefully. Each step was dangerous. He moved between broken machines and burning stones. Then he saw it, and his heart stopped. Inside a crashed alien ship, there was a girl. She was trapped. Metal pieces were around her body. Fire was slowly coming closer. Her skin was glowing softly, like moonlight. Her eyes were big and blue. Not human. Not fully alien. Something special. Something rare. She was crying. Trying to move. But she could not. Evan's mind screamed, "Don't go. This is a trap. You will die." The ship could explode anytime. The fire was spreading. Enemy soldiers were nearby. Saving her meant only one thing. Death. He looked at his arm. Blood was still flowing. He was already weak. He was already losing. He had no reason to help. No orders. No reward. No promise. Nothing. "Why me?" he whispered. "Why now?" The girl looked at him. Their eyes met. In her eyes, Evan saw something he had not seen in months. Hope. "Please," she cried. "I don't want to die." Those words hit his heart like a knife. He remembered his little sister back on Earth. How she used to cry like that. How she used to beg him not to leave. Evan closed his eyes. He took a deep breath. And made a choice. "I'm coming," he said. Even though she could not understand his language. Even though nobody would hear him. He said it. Because he needed to hear it himself. He ran. Straight into fire. Straight into danger. Straight into death. The heat was terrible. His skin burned. His lungs hurt. Smoke filled his mouth. But he did not stop. He reached the ship. Pulled metal with his bare hands. His hands bled. But he kept pulling. Almost, he whispered. The girl watched him with wide eyes. No one had ever done this for her before. No one had ever risked their life. Suddenly, crack. A loud sound. The ship started breaking. Flames grew higher. The ground shook. "Move!" Evan shouted. He lifted her. She was light. Too light. Like she had not eaten in days. He put her on his shoulder. And turned back. But it was too late. The exit was blocked. Fire everywhere. Smoke everywhere. No way out. Evan looked around. His heart dropped. This was it. This was the end. He held her close. To protect her. If I die, he thought, at least she won't die alone. Then, boom. A massive explosion. The world turned white. Sound disappeared. Pain disappeared. Everything disappeared. Darkness. Evan felt nothing. No fire. No blood. No fear. Only silence. Was this death? Was this peace? Suddenly, a soft light appeared. He felt cold, then warm, then cold again. Voices echoed. Strange voices. Not human. Not English. Is he alive? He is human. How is he still breathing? Bring him to the chamber. Evan tried to open his eyes, but they were too heavy. His body was weak. Very weak. Before he lost consciousness again, he heard a familiar voice. A soft voice. A crying voice. But now, it was stronger. Please save him. And then, everything went black. Evan opened his eyes slowly. The first thing he noticed was light. It was not the harsh light of explosions or battle. It was soft, warm, almost soothing. He blinked several times. Everything was quiet. The smell of smoke and fire was gone. Instead, there was a faint, sweet smell he had never recognized. His body hurt all over. His arm was bandaged. His uniform was replaced by a strange, soft cloth. He tried to move, but pain shot through his chest. He winced and groaned. "Where am I?" he whispered. Then he heard a soft voice. "Evan, you are awake." He turned his head slowly. And there she was. The girl. The same one he had risked his life to save. Her hair was long and shining like silver under the light. Her eyes, those big blue eyes, were staring at him, full of tears. You are alive," she said softly, almost in disbelief. Evan tried to smile. It hurt, but he managed a weak nod. I thought, I left you behind," he said, his voice trembling. The memory of the fire, the explosion, the white light, they all came back. His heart was still racing. "No," she whispered, shaking her head. "You saved me." Her voice was gentle, but there was fear hidden behind it. Evan noticed her hands trembling. She looked different now. No smoke. No flames. No danger. Yet somehow, she seemed fragile, like a flower in the middle of a storm. Suddenly, a strange figure appeared behind her. It was tall, wearing a white robe with glowing symbols across its chest. Its face was mostly hidden under a hood. It spoke in a calm, low voice. "Do not worry," it said. "You are safe now. But he is weak. Treat him carefully." Evan tried to speak, but his throat was dry. He swallowed hard. The figure turned and left silently, leaving only the girl behind. She stepped closer. Evan could see now that her skin was not fully human. It shimmered slightly under the light. Her ears were slightly pointed, and around her neck, a strange pendant glowed faintly blue. You are not human, are you?" Evan asked quietly. She smiled faintly, almost sadly. "No, I am not." Her voice was soft but firm. She did not seem scared anymore, but calm, almost like someone used to danger. "My name is Luna," she said. I am the daughter of the alien queen." Evan froze. "Queen?" he asked, confused. "You mean like royalty?" She nodded. "Yes, but not just that. I am very important, very dangerous if I am caught." Evan's heart raced. He thought about the soldiers, the fire, the explosions, all that danger. And now he had saved someone important, someone the whole planet might be hunting. "Why are you here?" Evan asked, trying to sit up. "You shouldn't be in this war zone. You could have died." She lowered her head, ashamed. "I ran to escape. They wanted to force me into something I could not do. I didn't want to marry him. Not yet. I didn't want war either. I just wanted to live." Evan nodded slowly. He understood. Everyone wanted to live. Even if you were royal. Even if you were an alien princess. No one wanted to be a pawn in someone else's plan. And you risked your life for me, she said softly. Evan looked away, embarrassed. I didn't think. I just couldn't leave you there, he said quietly. The truth was simple. It was not heroism. It was instinct. Luna reached out her hand. Thank you, she whispered. Her fingers were soft, almost human, but her skin had a faint glow that sent chills through Evan's arm. He held her hand briefly, just to steady her. The room felt smaller now, as if the world had narrowed to just the two of them. For a few seconds, the chaos, the war, the fire, all of it disappeared. Then the sound of alarms shattered the silence. Evan's blood ran cold. He could hear shouting and running footsteps outside the room. Soldiers, he muttered. They are coming for you, for both of us. Luna's eyes widened. Her hand gripped his tightly. We must hide, she said urgently. Quickly, before they find us. Evan tried to stand. Pain shot through his arm, but he managed to support himself. They ran together, moving silently through narrow corridors filled with glowing panels and strange machines. Every step felt dangerous. Every sound felt like a warning. They reached a metal door marked with alien symbols. Luna pressed a small device against it. The door opened silently, revealing a hidden stairwell. They slipped inside just as footsteps echoed near the room they left. Down in the stairwell, Evan finally allowed himself to breathe. This place is huge, he said, looking around. Where are we? Luna looked at him, worried. This is an old section of the Queen's palace. Not many humans have been here, ever. If we stay here, they might lose us. Evan nodded slowly. He had no choice. He could not fight them. He could only survive and protect her. They moved carefully through dark corridors. Shadows danced on the walls. Alien statues with glowing eyes seemed to watch them as they passed. Every sound of metal or glass made them jump. After what felt like hours, they reached a large hall. It was abandoned. Dust covered the floor. Broken lights flickered. Luna stopped. This is safe for now, she said. Evan collapsed onto the floor, exhausted. His head spun. Pain throbbed in every limb. But he had a small smile. He had kept her alive. Luna sat across from him, watching silently. For a moment, there was no fear. No war. No soldiers. No explosions. Just two strangers connected by fate. Why did you save me? Luna asked suddenly. Evan looked at her. He hesitated. He had no good answer. I don't know, he admitted. I just couldn't leave you, even if it meant dying myself. Her eyes softened. You are strange, she said, and brave. Evan smiled faintly. Strange. Brave. That was all he was. Not a hero. Not a savior. Just a human who made a choice. Suddenly, a loud crash came from the main entrance. Evan jumped up. Soldiers, he shouted. Luna's eyes widened. They are looking for me, but they will kill you too, she said, panic in her voice. Evan took a deep breath. He felt fear for the first time, but also determination. We fight together, he said. Or we survive together. Luna nodded, gripping her pendant tightly. I will follow you, she said. And I will trust you. They moved again, slowly, quietly, through winding passages. Each step was filled with suspense. Each corner could hide an enemy. Each shadow could be a trap. Evan felt his heart beating faster. But he also felt something new. A connection. A reason. A purpose. Luna looked at him as they paused in a small alcove. You risked everything, she whispered. Evan nodded. I had to. Her eyes glimmered. You might have just changed everything, she said. And for the first time, Evan realized this was not just survival anymore. This was destiny. They were both now part of something bigger. Something dangerous. Something powerful. Something unknown. And somewhere far above, in the royal chambers, the queen had already heard of their escape. And she was not pleased. The hidden corridors were silent except for their footsteps. Evan supported Luna as she moved, her glowing pendant lighting their path like a tiny moon. I need to know why they are hunting you, Evan whispered. Luna glanced at him, her eyes flickering with fear and hesitation. "It is not simple," she said softly. Her voice trembled. "Too many lies. Too many secrets." Evan nodded. He had learned that in war, secrets were more dangerous than bullets. "Tell me anyway," he said firmly. "If I am going to keep you alive, I need to understand." They reached a small chamber deep inside the palace ruins. Broken pillars rose like shadows around them. Dust danced in the weak light from Luna's pendant. It was the first time in hours that they could stop moving. Luna sank to the floor, exhausted. I am Luna," she began. "My mother, she is the alien queen." Her voice was low, almost fearful. But not just any queen. She is feared, respected, and ruthless. Evan listened carefully, sitting beside her. He could see the weight in her eyes. "This is why they wanted you," he said slowly. "To use you." She nodded. "Yes. They wanted to control me. Force me to marry someone I do not know. Someone I cannot choose." Her hands trembled. Evan noticed her fingers clutching the glowing pendant. "It is a symbol of my family, my bloodline," she explained. "If it falls into the wrong hands, it can start a war or end one." Evan's heart pounded. "This is bigger than just a fight," he whispered. "This is a war waiting to happen." Luna took a deep breath. "Before tonight, I never trusted anyone. I have seen soldiers die for me. I have seen people betray me. And I almost believed no one could help me." She paused, looking at Evan. You risked your life for me, without knowing who I really am." Evan looked away, embarrassed. "I didn't think. I just ran," he admitted. "I wasn't a hero. I wasn't thinking about bloodlines or queens. I just couldn't leave you." Luna's eyes softened. "You are strange human," she said. "Brave. Reckless. And maybe the only person I can trust right now." Just then, a loud noise echoed through the hall. Metal screeched. A distant voice shouted in the alien language. Evan's muscles tensed. "They're here," he whispered. "They're looking for us." Luna stood quickly. "We have to move again," she said. "But there is a place, the secret chamber. Hidden. Safe for now." She led Evan through narrow tunnels. The walls were carved with strange symbols that glowed faintly in the dark. Evan realized these were not just decorations. They were warnings. Messages for those who knew how to read them. Finally, they arrived at a massive stone door. Luna pressed her pendant against it, and the door slid open silently. Inside was a chamber unlike anything Evan had seen. Tall ceilings arched above them. Crystal lights floated in the air. Strange plants glowed softly along the walls. It was a sanctuary. This is incredible," Evan whispered. "I've never seen anything like it." Luna smiled faintly. "It has been here for centuries. The queen built it to protect the most important secrets of our family." She led him to a stone pedestal at the center of the room. On it lay a small, glowing sphere. Evan felt a strange energy coming from it. "What is this?" he asked. "This is the heart of Zarin," Luna said. "It is the source of my family's power. It chooses who can rule. If it falls into the wrong hands, it can destroy everything. And many have tried to steal it. That is why I am hunted." Evan stared at the glowing sphere, his mind spinning. "This is bigger than I imagined," he whispered. Luna nodded. "Yes. And now, I need to trust you. You are the only one who saved me, without expecting anything. If we fail, everything is lost." Evan's heart sank. This is too much for me. I'm just a soldier. I don't know if I can handle this." Luna placed a hand on his shoulder. "You don't have to do it alone," she said softly. "We will face this together." Evan looked into her eyes. There was courage there, and fear, but most of all there was hope, and that hope gave him strength. Suddenly, the chamber shook. A loud crash echoed through the corridors. Dust fell from the ceiling. "They found us," Luna whispered. Evan instinctively grabbed his gun. He had only a few bullets left, but it was better than nothing. Footsteps approached. Heavy, deliberate, menacing. "Evan, hide me," Luna said. There is a secret passage behind the pedestal. It leads outside to the ruins. You must protect me until then. Evan nodded. Go, he said firmly. I'll hold them off if I have to. Luna hesitated, then slipped behind the pedestal. Her pendant glowed brighter, as if sensing danger. Evan stepped forward. The first soldiers appeared at the doorway. Alien guards, armed and ruthless. Stop. Do not move, one shouted. Evan raised his gun. He fired. The first soldier went down. But more were coming. He ran between shadows, using pillars and walls as cover. Bullets flew past him. Metal clashed. Sparks flew. Evan knew he could not hold them forever. But he also knew he could not fail. Meanwhile, Luna moved through the secret passage. It was narrow and dark, but she felt the energy from her pendant guiding her. It whispered directions, leading her through twists and turns that no human could have known. She emerged into the ruins outside. The fire from the battle lit the sky in red and orange. The landscape was broken, jagged, and dangerous. But for the first time, Luna felt free. She ran, dodging debris and fallen machines. Behind her, she heard Evan shouting, fighting. Her heart ached. He's risking everything for me, she thought. Why would a human care so much? Evan continued fighting, using every trick he had learned in the battlefield. He was outnumbered, outgunned, and wounded. But he did not give up. Not for himself. Not when Luna's life depended on him. A sudden explosion threw him off his feet. Dust and debris filled the air. Pain shot through his body. But through the smoke, he saw her, Luna, disappearing into the distance. She was safe for now. Evan smiled faintly, despite the blood and pain. She's alive, he whispered. That's all that matters. As he struggled to his feet, he realized something. This was only the beginning. The Queen would not forgive this. The soldiers would not stop. And the secret of Luna, the heart of Zarin, would change everything. Evan knew one thing for certain. He could not let her fall into the wrong hands. No matter what, no matter the cost, the ruins of the battlefield stretched endlessly under the crimson sky. Smoke curled from broken ships and scorched ground. The echoes of war still lingered like ghosts, whispering fear and pain. Evan limped through the debris, his body screaming in protest. Every step reminded him of the explosion. His wounds were deep. His arm burned, his leg throbbed, and each breath felt like fire. But none of that mattered. Luna was alive, and that was all that mattered. He paused for a moment, catching his breath. Far ahead, he could see her, Luna, running toward a hidden valley. The faint glow of her pendant was like a beacon in the smoke. Evan's chest tightened. She's safe for now, he whispered. But how long can I keep the soldiers away? He scanned the area. Alien guards were everywhere. Fast. Armed. Relentless. They had discovered the secret passage. And they were coming. Evan ducked behind a pile of rubble, his gun in hand. He could hear the pounding footsteps approaching. Metal clinking. Voices shouting in the alien language. They can't get her, he muttered. They can't. The first soldier appeared, tall and armored, with glowing eyes. Evan fired. The bullet hit, and the soldier stumbled. But more were coming. 1, 2, 3, dozens of them. Evan knew he couldn't fight them all. Not without dying. Then an idea struck him. He looked around. A half-destroyed alien ship sat nearby, its engine core exposed. If he could lure the soldiers inside and ignite the engine, it would buy Luna enough time to escape. He smiled faintly. Sometimes it's not about winning, he whispered. It's about surviving. Evan stood, limping painfully, and shouted toward the approaching guards. Over here. They froze, surprised by his audacity. And then, like predators sensing prey, they charged. Evan ran toward the ship, bullets flying past him, sparks hitting his skin. Pain shot through his arm, but he didn't stop. He had one goal, one purpose. Inside the ship, he positioned himself near the engine. Alien symbols glowed faintly, warning him, but he ignored them. The guards followed, their eyes glowing, weapons raised. Evan fired again, striking one of them down. More soldiers poured in. They were faster than humans. Stronger. More precise. Evan's body was screaming, but his mind was focused. He pressed the panel on the engine core. A timer appeared. 20 seconds. Enough, Evan whispered. Luna, go. Run. Back outside, Luna had reached the safety of the valley. The dense trees hid her from view, but she could hear the chaos behind her. Explosions, gunfire. Evan's voice shouting. Her heart ached. He's risking everything for me, she thought. She wanted to run back, to help him, but she knew she couldn't. Her pendant glowed brighter, almost as if it was urging her to move forward. Inside the ship, Evan continued firing. Soldiers fell one by one, but more came. He was outnumbered, outgunned, out of time. The timer on the engine flashed 10 seconds. Evan gritted his teeth. He pressed the final button. The engine roared to life. A bright light filled the chamber. Metal shook. Sparks flew. The heat was unbearable. He took a deep breath. This is for her, he whispered. Outside, Luna saw the explosion. A massive fireball erupted from the ship. Flames shot into the sky. Smoke covered the ruins like a black storm. She gasped. No, she whispered. Evan. Her heart sank. She thought he was gone. She fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. But then movement. Through the smoke, a shadow appeared. Evan was limping out of the wreckage, his body battered, clothes torn, blood everywhere. Luna ran toward him. Evan, you're alive. Evan smiled faintly. Alive barely, he said, his voice hoarse. My turn to be honest. I thought I wouldn't make it, but I had to save you, no matter what. She helped him sit down. Her hands pressed against his wounds. Her glowing pendant bathed them in soft light. You risked your life for me, she said, her voice trembling. Why would you do that? Evan looked at her. It's simple, he whispered. I couldn't leave you behind. I don't know why. Maybe it's fate. Maybe it's something else. But I would do it again. Luna's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, she smiled. You are unlike anyone I've ever met. But peace did not last long. From the ruins, the sound of alarms and shouting echoed. The Queen's elite guards were approaching. They had survived the explosion. Evan groaned. He had no strength left to fight again. Luna looked at him, panicked. We have to move, she said. No, I can't leave you, he whispered. You must go. Now. She shook her head. I will not leave you. Evan grabbed her hand, his grip firm despite his weakness. Listen to me, he said, his voice barely audible. My job, my choice is to protect you. But now my time to fight is over. You must escape, survive, live. Luna's tears fell freely. She knew he was serious. She knew she had to obey. Evan looked up at the approaching soldiers. The red glow of their eyes sent chills down his spine. He gritted his teeth. Go, he whispered again. Go, before it's too late. She hesitated, then finally nodded. Her hand slipped from his, clutching the pendant tightly. She ran into the forest, disappearing into the darkness. Evan turned back to face the soldiers. He knew what he had to do. He raised his weapon, prepared to fight alone. The soldiers charged. Metal clashed. Flames lit the ruins. Evan fought with every last bit of strength he had. He was fast, clever, dangerous. But there were too many. One grabbed him from behind. Another aimed at his chest. Evan fell to the ground, pain exploding in every part of his body. But he smiled faintly. She's safe, that's enough, he whispered. From the valley, Luna watched. Her heart was breaking. But she saw something else too. Courage. Sacrifice. Love. Evan had risked everything. And in that moment, she realized he was not just a soldier. He was a hero. As the soldiers closed in, Evan's last thought was simple. Better I die than she loses her life. Better I fall than the world falls with her. And with that, he prepared for his final stand. Evan opened his eyes slowly. The first thing he noticed was the cold. Not the usual cold of night or wind. This was deep, unnatural, chilling to the bone. He tried to move, but his hands were bound. His legs were tied too. Pain shot through his body. Every wound throbbed. Every breath was agony. Where am I? The room was dark, but not pitch black. A faint blue light reflected off tall, smooth walls. Shadows danced, shifting with a strange rhythm. Then he saw her. At the far end of the chamber, standing on a raised platform, was the alien queen. Tall, powerful, terrifying. Her skin shimmered like molten metal, a silver-gold glow under the lights. Her eyes, impossible to describe, deep, black, endless. And yet, they burned with intelligence, authority, and fury. Every inch of her commanded respect. Every movement radiated danger. Evan felt a chill run down his spine. Not just fear, awe. The queen's voice broke the silence. Cold, calm, deadly. You saved her. Evan tried to speak, but his throat was dry. Yes, he croaked. I saved her. The queen's eyes narrowed. Do you understand what that means? She stepped forward, her movements fluid, like a predator circling prey. You risked your life. You interfered with matters far beyond your understanding. And yet you survived. Evan swallowed hard. I did what I thought was right, he said quietly. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I couldn't leave her. The queen's lips curved slightly, a smile that was not friendly. Brave or foolish. Or perhaps both. She descended the platform slowly. Each step echoed in the hall. Evan could feel the power radiating from her. It pressed against his chest, heavy, suffocating. I am the Queen of Zarin, she said softly. I command fleets. I rule thousands. I decide life and death with a word. And you dared to defy me. Evan did not flinch. He looked up at her, weak but determined. I did not defy you, he said. I did what was right. If that makes me a criminal, then so be it. The queen studied him. For what felt like an eternity, she said nothing. Her eyes scanned his wounds, his bruised body, his exhausted form. And then she laughed. Not a pleasant laugh. Not a cruel laugh. But a sound that made the air vibrate. The kind of laugh that told him she enjoyed watching him struggle. You are extraordinary, she said finally. Most humans would have died. Most humans would have begged. Most humans would have run. But you faced fire, soldiers, death itself, and yet you protect her. Evan felt a mix of fear and surprise. Why are you telling me this? He asked, confused. The queen stopped in front of him, towering over his weak form. You have passed the first test, she said simply. But there are many more. She gestured with her hand. 2 guards stepped forward, stronger than any soldiers Evan had seen before. They lifted him effortlessly, carrying him to the center of the chamber. You saved my daughter, the queen continued. And for that, you will be judged. I must know, do you have the strength to serve her? Or will you betray her when the time comes? Evan's mind raced. Serve her? Betray her? He barely understood what he was being asked. I will do whatever I can, he said firmly. Whatever it takes. I won't betray her. I promise. The queen's eyes glimmered with interest. You speak with conviction, she said. Yet your species fragile, weak, emotional. Can they truly be trusted with the fate of Zarin? The chamber walls shifted. Holographic images appeared in midair, showing scenes Evan could barely comprehend. Alien ships, battles, planets, war, destruction, all moving in rapid succession. This is my realm, the queen said, her voice echoing over the images. Everything here, everything you see, it is mine to protect. And she, my daughter, is the key to everything. Evan's heart raced. He understood now why she was so important. Not just her life, but the future of the planet, perhaps even more. The queen turned slowly, her gaze piercing. You risked your life for her. And that means something. Perhaps more than you know. She stepped closer, tilting her head as if examining a curious object. You are human, limited in power, limited in understanding. Yet you have courage, determination, loyalty, qualities my daughter will need. Evan swallowed hard. He did not understand why she was saying this or why she had not executed him yet. You are injured, the queen said, suddenly noticing his wounds. You should not die here. Not yet. A flick of her hand, and guards rushed forward with strange alien tools. They lifted Evan onto a floating stretcher, examining his injuries. Pain shot through his body as the alien devices healed him. Slowly, bruises faded. Blood disappeared. Muscles that were torn began to repair. Evan gasped. How? He whispered. The queen's smile returned. This is my gift, she said softly. Life and power for those I choose to protect. When he could move again, he was seated before the queen. Luna entered the chamber, glowing softly. Her eyes met Evan's. He nodded slightly. She understood. The queen raised her hands, and the holographic images of war and battles disappeared. The chamber became silent. You saved her life, the queen said. That act cannot be ignored. And yet, you have made yourself a part of my world. A human in my realm, daring to challenge fate. Evan's heart pounded. He realized he was standing on the edge of something enormous. He had survived battles, fire, explosions. But now, he was face to face with the most powerful being he had ever encountered. The queen leaned closer, her eyes gleaming. I will make you a choice human, she said softly. Your actions have shown loyalty, courage, and strength. But loyalty is not enough. Courage can be tested. Strength is not always physical. If you wish to survive, if you wish to continue protecting my daughter, you must swear an oath. An oath to serve. An oath to obey. An oath to protect above all else. Evan looked at Luna. She nodded slightly, urging him silently to accept. He knew the risks. But he also knew, without the queen's trust, Luna would never be safe. I swear, he said quietly, to serve, to obey, to protect her no matter the cost. The queen smiled faintly. Good, she said. Then we shall see if humans can truly rise beyond their nature. Evan realized then that his life had changed forever. No longer just a soldier, no longer just a human fighting for survival. Now he was a part of something far greater, something dangerous, something magnificent. And somewhere in the shadows, a plan was forming. A plan that would test him. The grand hall of the alien palace was silent, except for the soft hum of hovering lights. Red and gold banners swayed gently, though no wind stirred. It was a palace like no other, built from living crystal, glowing faintly, whispering power with every pulse. Evan stood beside Luna, still recovering from his injuries. He had been brought here under the queen's protection, yet the weight of her gaze made his heart pound. The queen sat on a towering throne, her presence dominating the entire room. Guards lined the walls, watching silently, eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. The time has come. The queen's voice echoed through the chamber, calm but full of authority. All citizens, humans and aliens alike, hear my decree. Evan's stomach tightened. Something told him this was no ordinary announcement. His instincts screamed danger, but he could not leave. Not when Luna's fate was at stake. Luna stepped forward, her glowing pendant lighting the floor like moonlight. Her expression was a mixture of fear, confusion, and defiance. Evan's eyes searched hers, silently telling her, I'm here. You're safe for now. The queen raised her hand, and the room fell completely silent. Evan Carter, she began, her voice slicing through the tension like a blade. You are a human, a soldier, a creature of limited understanding and fragile body. And yet, you risked your life for my daughter. You defied armies, fire, and death itself, all for her survival. Evan swallowed hard. Yes, he said quietly. I did it because it was the right thing. The queen's eyes glimmered with something unreadable. Bravery, loyalty, sacrifice. These are rare qualities, even among my kind. And now, I have made a decision. A hush fell over the room. Every guard, every citizen present, every hovering observer seemed to hold their breath. The queen stood, her towering form radiating power. "This human shall marry my daughter." The words hit Evan like a lightning bolt. For a moment, the room seemed to spin. Luna froze, her mouth slightly open. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Even the guards were momentarily silent. Evan's mind raced. Marry? Him? A human? With the queen's daughter? This was impossible. Luna's voice trembled. What are you saying?" she asked softly. Her eyes darted to the queen. Her hands shook, clutching her pendant tightly. The queen smiled faintly, cold but majestic. "I am saying that loyalty, courage, and sacrifice cannot go unrewarded. This human saved my daughter's life, and in doing so has earned a place by her side. A union of life, of trust, and of destiny." Evan shook his head. "No, I can't," he said, his voice shaking. I'm not worthy of this, of her, of this world." The queen's gaze bore into him, unyielding. "You have already proven your worth. Life is not about titles, strength, or heritage. It is about choice, courage, and action. You acted when others would have fled. You protected when others would have hesitated. And now, the choice has been made." A plan that would push him to the edge of life and death. The hall was filled with whispers. Some were shocked. Some were amazed. Some were horrified. But none dared to interrupt. Luna's eyes glistened with tears. She looked at Evan, searching for an answer. "Evan, she began, but words failed her. Evan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "This is too much," he whispered. "I never asked for this. I only wanted to keep you safe. That's all I ever wanted." The queen stepped forward, her presence enveloping him. "You have chosen to serve. You have chosen to protect. Now you must choose to accept your fate, or leave this palace forever, knowing the consequences for defying my will." Evan's heart pounded. He glanced at Luna and saw the fear, confusion, and something else, trust. She believed in him, even in this impossible situation. He looked at the queen and felt the enormity of her power. She could crush him with a word. She could exile him. She could take Luna away. And yet he also felt a strange sense of calm. Because he had already risked everything for her. Because he had already faced death. Because he had already chosen her life over his own. "I accept," he whispered finally. The words trembled on his lips, but they were true. "I will stand by her. I will protect her. I will honor this union in whatever way I can." A silence fell over the room. Then a murmur ran through the crowd. The queen's eyes softened, just slightly. "You have courage, human, and perhaps the heart of a true protector. We shall see if it endures." Luna stepped closer to Evan. Her eyes were filled with tears, but also something else. Understanding. You really would do this for me?" she whispered. Evan nodded slowly. I would risk everything for you. I already have. And I will continue to, no matter what happens next." Luna smiled faintly, a tear rolling down her cheek. I trust you," she said softly. The queen watched them carefully. "Trust is the foundation of all alliances," she said. "And now, your trust will be tested. The world you enter is not gentle. It will demand more than loyalty. It will demand courage, sacrifice, and perhaps life itself." As the queen spoke, holographic images appeared around the hall. Scenes of war, diplomacy, and battles flashed before their eyes. Ships flying across alien skies. Cities burning. He whispered to himself. But he also felt ready. Because he had no choice. Because Luna's life, the fate of this world, depended on him now. The queen raised her hand, and the hall fell silent once more. "You have been warned," she said. "The path ahead will be dangerous. Your loyalty will be tested. Your courage will be tested. Your love will be tested." She paused, her eyes locking with Evan's. "And yet, you have already proven the impossible is possible. Now you are part of this world. Part of my daughter's life. Part of our destiny." Evan swallowed hard, feeling the weight of her words. It was terrifying. It was overwhelming. And yet somehow, it felt right. The queen's gaze shifted to Luna. You, my daughter, have chosen a protector. One who is not of our kind, yet one who has already shown loyalty beyond measure. Treat him as your equal, not your servant. Guide him. Teach him. Trust him. Luna nodded, her eyes shining. I will, she said softly. And I will not fail him, nor this world. Evan looked at her, a mixture of awe and fear in his eyes. I'll do my best, he said quietly. Whatever it takes. The queen leaned back, her eyes never leaving them. Very well. Let this union begin. Not with celebration, but with preparation. The future will demand everything from both of you. And as the hall fell into a tense silence, one thing was clear. The world had changed forever. A human soldier had saved an alien princess, and in doing so, had earned a place beside her. But the trials, the battles, and the ultimate sacrifice were still to come. The first rays of dawn touched the palace of Zarin, painting the towering crystal walls in soft shades of gold and violet. The chaos of the battlefield had faded, leaving only whispers of the past night. Broken ships lay scattered in the distance, their metal skeletons gleaming under the alien sun. Smoke still rose from the scars of war, but it no longer threatened. Evan stood beside Luna, the early light reflecting on her glowing pendant. For the first time since arriving on Zarin, they felt a strange calm. But they both knew that calm was fragile. The queen's chamber had emptied for the night, leaving them alone with their thoughts. Evan leaned against a smooth crystal wall, examining his wounds, now mostly healed by the queen's technology. He flexed his fingers and stretched carefully, trying not to awaken pain that lurked beneath his skin. Luna watched him silently, her eyes reflecting both gratitude and worry. You really did risk everything for me, she said softly. Her voice carried emotion he had not heard before. I can't imagine what it would have been like if you hadn't been there. Evan shook his head. I didn't think. I just acted, he admitted. Even now, I'm not sure I'm ready for all of this. The queen, her orders, the marriage, it's too much to understand. Luna stepped closer, her glowing presence illuminating the room. You saved me, Evan. Not just from death, but from a life I didn't want. You gave me a choice, freedom, hope. No matter what the queen decides, I know you acted from your heart. Evan looked at her, feeling a strange warmth inside. It wasn't just relief. It wasn't just pride. It was something deeper, something he had never felt before. I don't even know if I deserve this, he said quietly. Not the life, not the world, not you. Luna smiled faintly, placing her hand over his. You do, she said simply. Because courage isn't about power, it's about heart. And yours has already proven itself. Suddenly, the doors of the chamber opened. The queen entered, her majestic presence filling the room once more. Evan stood immediately, instinctively. Even healed, he knew he was in the presence of ultimate power. You too have rested, the queen said, her voice calm but commanding. Good. There is much to discuss, much to prepare. Luna stepped forward. Mother, the humans are different, she said. They are fragile. Yes, but they can be strong, loyal, brave. Evan is one of them. I trust him. The queen studied Evan carefully. Her gaze was like fire and ice combined, penetrating, sharp, and impossible to ignore. You have survived the impossible, human, she said. You have faced death and chaos and still protected my daughter. And now, your place is not just beside her, but part of the legacy of Zarin. Evan's heart skipped a beat. Legacy? He asked. What does that mean? The queen stepped closer, her glowing presence illuminating both of them. It means that your life is no longer just your own. It is tied to this world, to my daughter, to the future of our people. The war may have ended tonight, but the true battles, the trials, are only beginning. The queen led them to a grand balcony overlooking the palace grounds. Below, the city of Zarin stretched endlessly, glowing softly in the early light. Alien citizens moved quietly, some repairing, some watching, all aware of the events that had unfolded. "You see this world?" the queen asked, gesturing broadly. "It is fragile. War has taken much, and yet life endures. Peace can be built, but only with courage, sacrifice, and trust." Evan swallowed hard. I don't know if I can do all that," he admitted. "I'm just a human soldier. Not a prince, not a hero, not a queen's ally." The queen's gaze softened, just slightly. "Perhaps that is exactly why you can do it," she said. "Humans are not burdened with the same expectations. They act, they feel, they make choices that are not bound by tradition. And in that lies their strength." Luna looked at Evan, her glowing eyes shining. "You have changed everything," she said softly. "Not just for me, but for Zarin. Without you, the queen's plans, everything could have gone wrong." Evan shook his head. "I didn't do it for glory. I didn't do it for power. I did it because I couldn't leave you, and because it felt right." Luna smiled faintly. "Then we will face the future together," she said. The queen observed silently, then spoke again. "There will be challenges," she warned. "Enemies may come. Not all will accept a human beside the princess. Some will see this as weakness. Others will plot to overthrow what has been built." Evan's jaw tightened. I understand," he said firmly. "I will do everything I can to protect her, to protect this world." The queen nodded once, sharply. "Good. Then you will need training, knowledge, and understanding. Your journey has just begun." Days passed in preparation. Evan learned alien tactics, strategies, and customs. He trained beside Luna, growing stronger physically and mentally. But more importantly, he learned the essence of Zarin, its culture, its people, and its values. Luna guided him patiently, teaching him, laughing with him, sometimes scolding him when he faltered. Their bond grew stronger, built on trust, respect, and shared experience. One night, as they overlooked the city from the balcony, Luna spoke softly. "Do you ever think that this could have gone differently?" she asked. "If you hadn't saved me, if the queen had acted differently, if we had failed?" Evan shook his head. "No. I believe everything happens for a reason. I was meant to be here with you. And if that meant fighting, running, or risking death, then so be it." Luna smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "I trust you, Evan," she whispered. "And I know together, we can face anything." Weeks turned into months. Peace slowly returned to Zarin. The cities repaired, the skies cleared, and the scars of war began to fade. Evan and Luna became symbols of hope. A human and an alien princess, unlikely allies, united by courage and choice. People spoke of their story in hushed tones. How the soldier saved the princess. How the queen's decree shocked the world. And how destiny, guided by heart, shaped a new era. On the day of the ceremony, the palace was alive with color and light. The citizens gathered, aliens and humans together, to witness the union. The queen watched from her throne, regal and commanding. Evan stood beside Luna, both nervous and determined. This was not just marriage. It was a promise, a bond, a declaration that courage, love, and choice could shape destiny. When Luna's hand rested in his, Evan felt a surge of emotion. He remembered the battlefield, the fire, the smoke, the explosions. And he realized all of that had led to this moment. The queen's voice echoed over the hall. "Let this union mark the beginning of a new destiny. For the people of Zarin, for humans, and for all who value courage, loyalty, and love." As Evan and Luna stood together, the citizens cheered. The sky above glowed with the light of celebration, alien fireworks exploding in harmony with the rising sun. Evan looked at Luna, smiling faintly. "We made it," he whispered. "Through fire, war, everything. We survived." Luna smiled back, her glowing eyes reflecting hope and warmth. "Yes," she said. "Together, we did. And together, we will shape the future." The queen watched silently, a faint smile on her lips. "Perhaps humans are not so weak after all," she whispered to herself. And so a new era began. A human soldier, and an alien princess united. A world once torn by war, now poised for peace. And the story of courage, sacrifice, and destiny would never be forgotten. The celebrations had ended, the skies of Zarin still glowing with fading fireworks. Evan and Luna stood on the balcony of the palace, overlooking the city. The wind was cool, brushing against their faces, carrying the scent of alien flora and the faint smoke of repaired cities. Everything seemed peaceful, almost too peaceful. Evan leaned against the balcony railing, his mind wandering. He had fought through fire, explosions, alien soldiers, and even the Queen's ultimate test. He had survived battles that would have killed any ordinary human. And now here he was, beside Luna, protected by the Queen, part of Zarin's destiny. And yet something gnawed at him. Do you feel it too? Luna asked softly. Her glowing pendant pulsed faintly in rhythm with her heartbeat. Evan glanced at her. What do you mean? He asked. Luna frowned slightly, looking over the city. There's a shift, a change in the air. It's subtle, but I feel it, like something is watching us, waiting. Evan's brow furrowed. Are you sure? He trusted Luna's instincts. She had survived because of her intuition before. She nodded. Yes. I can't explain it, but I've seen it before in whispers and shadows. There's a presence, something dangerous, hiding in the background. Evan's hand went to the weapon at his side, just in case. You mean another attack? He asked quietly. It can't be easy this time. We've survived so much already. Luna shook her head. It's not like the soldiers, not like the Queen's enemies. This is different. Older, smarter, patient, and waiting for the right moment. The palace grew silent around them, the faint hum of lights the only sound. Evan's mind raced. He had faced fire, soldiers, and explosions. He had even faced the Queen's wrath. But now he realized this was beyond any battle he had fought. Then we need to be ready, he said firmly. I can't let anything happen to you. Not now. Not ever. Luna's eyes softened, glowing gently. I know, Evan. And I trust you. But this is bigger than us. That night, while the city slept, Evan patrolled the palace perimeter with the Queen's elite guards. His eyes scanned the shadows. Every movement caught his attention. Something felt wrong. Too quiet. And then he saw it. A faint ripple in the air, like a distortion in reality. Evan froze. He had seen advanced alien technology before, but this was different. It was alive, watching. He reached for Luna's pendant, remembering its faint pulse of energy. It had saved her before, and now it seemed to react again. The glow intensified slightly, warning him. Evan's heart raced. Something ancient, something powerful was approaching. He alerted the guards. Stay alert, he whispered. There's something here, something not human. The guards exchanged uneasy glances. They were the best, trained for war, yet they could sense the fear in the air. Hours passed, the night deepening. Then a sudden explosion shook the palace gardens. Sparks flew. Crystal pillars cracked. The ground trembled. Evan grabbed Luna, pulling her to safety. What is it? She cried, fear flashing in her eyes. Evan pointed toward the disturbance. They've arrived, he said grimly. Something old, powerful, and they want us. From the shadows, shapes emerged. They were neither human nor the soldiers Evan had faced before. Their bodies seemed to shimmer, shifting between forms. Darkness and light intertwined, giving them an almost ghost-like appearance. Evan's jaw tightened. He had never seen such creatures. And he realized this was only the beginning. Luna stepped forward, glowing brightly. Her pendant pulsed stronger than ever. These are the Forgotten Ones, she whispered. Beings that existed before the Queen's rule. Hidden in shadows, waiting for a chance to return. Evan's mind reeled. He had fought wars, survived explosions, faced the Queen herself. But these were something else. The creatures moved with intelligence, circling the palace. They didn't attack immediately. They watched, studied, and calculated. Evan realized this was not just an attack. It was a test. A trap. We need to alert the queen, Evan said, grabbing a communicator. But before he could, a powerful wave of energy hit the palace walls. Crystal pillars shattered. The ground cracked. Even the elite guard struggled to maintain their balance. Evan gritted his teeth. This is bad. Worse than anything before. Luna's glow intensified. Her voice rang out, clear and commanding. You cannot harm us. We are protected. The creatures paused, studying her. Then, without warning, one shot forward at incredible speed. Evan threw himself in front of Luna, blocking the strike with his body. Pain exploded through his chest. He fell, but he smiled faintly. She's safe, he whispered. Luna cried out, her energy flaring in response. The creatures recoiled, unable to withstand the power emanating from her. Evan struggled to rise, every wound throbbing. We can't hold them forever, he gasped. We need a plan. And fast. Luna's pendant pulsed again, guiding them toward a hidden chamber beneath the palace. A secret sanctuary, used only in the direst emergencies. Evan helped her move, each step a struggle, but they reached safety. Inside, the chamber hummed with energy. Ancient alien symbols glowed softly, responding to Luna's presence. This place, she whispered. It was built for times like this. Evan nodded, catching his breath. They've been waiting for her for you, he said. And now they've found us. We need to prepare. For hours, they strategized. The Forgotten Ones could not be defeated by brute force.